AV in your ears. That's Ambush Being, giving you this audio visual down the most interesting street in the world. With my voice, Steve, Fascination Street. You already know. Let's get it. When you whip in the Fascination Street, what do you...
Hi, this is Richard Kinky Friedman, and you are listening to the podcast Fascination Street.
AV in your ears. That's Ambush Being, giving you this audio visual down the most interesting street in the world. With my voice, Steve, Fascination Street. You already know. Let's get it. When you whip in the Fascination Street, what do you...
Welcome back, Streetwalkers. This episode is with Lauren Lucas. Lauren Lucas is a musician. She's a mom and a wife and all the things, but she's a singer-songwriter and a musician, and we talk about all kinds of crazy stuff in this episode. We talk about how she came to fall in love with music, and even how she got a publishing deal as a teenager, having never even written a song. What? We talk about how she feels about that now. And then we talk about some really cool things. She went to Belmont University in Nashville, and now she teaches songwriting at Belmont University in Nashville, as well as still putting out music. She's put out a ton of music already this year, and she just put out a new song in the last couple of weeks. So we talk about songwriting, why it's important to learn how to compose a song, why co-writing is so important, her experience opening for national acts in stadium tours, and how those differ from opening for national acts in smaller seat venues. We do talk a little bit about her sound and style. She has been described as a bluesy, swampy, southern soul singer, and I agree wholeheartedly. She lets me play one of my favorite songs of hers. It's from a few years ago, as well as one of her newest tracks. We do touch a little bit about previous guest and friend of Lauren's, Liz Longley. They have a similar experience in a lot of regards. Of course, we talk about her being part of the team that writes all of the music and the interstitials and even the theme song for the hit Netflix TV show Leanne. Lauren and the team are hard at work putting the music together for season 2. Everybody, go check out Lauren Lucas everywhere you find music. And this is my conversation with singer, songwriter, and songwriting professor, Lauren Lucas.
Prepare to be fascinated. Prepare to be fascinated. Prepare to be fascinated.
Welcome to Fascination Street Podcast, Lauren Lucas. How you doing today?
I'm great. How about you?
I cannot complain. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lauren Lucas. She is the real deal, and we're going to talk all about her bluesy, swampy southern soul in just a few minutes. But first, Lauren, what I like to do is I like to start from the beginning. It helps us understand how the guests got from where they were to where they are. So where were you born and raised? Where'd you grow up?
I was born and raised in Columbia, South Carolina.
You are not the first guest I've had on from Columbia, South Carolina.
Who else?
Oh, it's a guy named Doug Romer. You might know him as you don't know him at all, but he is a sneaker, or he was a sneaker customizer.
Oh.
He is amazing. But he lives in Columbia, South Carolina. So that's where that went.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, that's great. That's great. I'll have to check him out.
I need you to tell me how you got to Columbia, South Carolina. Like, I know you were born there, so I know how you got there,
Yeah.
but
Well, when a man and a woman love each other. No, I'm kidding.
I was talking about a bee and a flower or something.
Right.
I don't know. It's weird. I never understood how the birds and the bees was supposed to, like, what do birds have to do with bees? They stay far away from each other, so that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm very confused. So, do you come from a long line of South Carolinians?
No, not particularly. So, are you in Pennsylvania? Do I have that right?
Absolutely not. I'm in San Antonio, Texas, and I am offended that you think I'm a Pennsylvanian.
But are you born? Do you have ties to Pennsylvania?
Born and raised in San Antonio. I have no ties to Pennsylvania.
Okay, well, I made that up.
You did make that up.
Well, sorry. I thought I had heard that on actually the Liz Longley episode. I thought that y'all had some kind of tie to Pennsylvania together.
No, she did.
Yes. Okay. Well, I misunderstood.
I don't. We did have a Pennsylvania conversation, but it's because I was talking about the massive amount of talent that for some reason is in Pennsylvania. That's why.
Okay. Scratch what I was going to say, I suppose. But my grandmother was from Pennsylvania.
Oh, I remember her. We grew up together, me and your grandma. We grew up together in Pennsylvania.
No, I really don't have a long lineage of South Carolinians in my family. My mom and dad were both born there, but my grandparents were from other areas on both sides. And my whole family still lives there. They live pretty close by to each other. And I consider myself a Carolina girl, even though I've been in Nashville. This will be my 27th year.
Well, that is a lie, unless you went to Nashville when you were 4.
Oh,
Good Lord.
You're sweet.
So what did you want to be when you grew up? What was the plan? What did your parents want you to be? I always love to find that out.
I was really fortunate. My parents were really supportive of my dreams and kind of my early aspirations of wanting to perform and sing. So I started doing community theater when I was 3 years old because my older sister was doing it.
Wait a minute. Are you going to tell me about the little girl with the curl on her forehead?
Yeah, the Mother Goose poem. You're a deep diver. My very first audition, I was 3. I went to see my sister audition for the show at a community theater. And my mom took me along just to sit in the audience. And so she didn't have to get a babysitter. It just looked like fun. It was a show that was kids and adults. And it just looked like a lot of fun. I saw these kids going up, singing and dancing. And so I asked my mom if I could audition. I don't remember this, but this is what she tells me. I didn't have a song prepared. This was very spur of the moment, but I loved Mother Goose. I had this poem book, the Mother Goose poem book. And so I got up and just recited the poem. There was a little girl who had a little curl right in the middle of her forehead. And when she was good, she was very, very good. But when she was bad, she was horrid. And I don't know, I guess I was cute enough to melt the hearts of the director, and she put me in the show.
Not to critique your reciting abilities, but isn't forehead and horrid supposed to rhyme?
Yeah, so it's probably forehead.
Yeah, maybe you're supposed to say forehead.
Yeah, maybe so. I do. It's a loose rhyme, slant rhyme.
Oh, Mother Goose, you were a stretch.
That's right.
So then you did community theater for a little while. What got you out of it? Why'd you stop?
I actually did it for a long while. That was my second home until I was in early teen years. What did get me out? Oh, you know what got me out of it?
Houston.
Well, kind of. The 90s hit. And Shania Twain and Garth Brooks and Faith Hill happened. And a honky-tonk opened up in our town called Bubba and Buck.
I'm sorry. Did we really say honky tonk still?
Well, that's what it was.
Is that a real word?
In the 90s, I mean, I don't know if you were listening to country music then or remember, but like...
I actually met Shania Twain and Toby Keith before anybody knew who they were.
Okay.
They did it was called the Mercury Triple Play Tour, and they had signed with Mercury Records, and there was another guy, I want to say his name was like Michael McDonald, but it was no Michael McDonald it was a different one or something.
Right.
And so it was those 3, and I was working at a venue. It was a restaurant attached to a venue, and I was working at the restaurant, and they came, like their bus came in, and they were setting all up, and I got to meet them both. And
oh, that's cool.
it was this really small town, and so there was this super small little like local newspaper that had them featured. So I got her autograph and I got Toby's autograph. I didn't get the other guy's autograph.
Michael, whatever his name was.
Yeah, that's why he didn't make it. But I still have the cassette tape. It was a single for her and it was a single for him. And I don't remember what song it was for her. It was whatever her first song was. And then his single, it was I Should Have Been a Cowboy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was my favorite song. I
yeah.
wasn't even a country music guy, but when I met those two and I got that tape, and I played that tape until it almost broke, but I still have it. Loved it.
Well, line dancing exploded during that time. And so it really was a honky tonk. I mean, that was like starting to pop up all over the country. And so we got one called Bubba and Buck. They would hold these karaoke contests. And so I entered and won with No One Else on Earth, Winona Judd. She was one of my favorites. Still is. I got a chance to meet her this past year.
Oh, good.
At a pumpkin patch. I just ran into her.
Really?
Yeah, she was there with her grandchild. I was there with my family and, got a chance to speak to her and take a picture, and it was awesome.
Did you tell her?
Oh, yeah.
Did you tell her that she's the reason you're famous?
She's like, I'm sorry, who are you? But we do have a friend in common, Billy Kirsch, who wrote her hit, Is It Over Yet? He and I work a lot together. And so, I was able to tell her, that I knew Billy and loved that song. Before I knew Billy, I was also singing that song in karaoke and learning it on guitar as I was learning how to play and that kind of stuff. It was really meaningful to me to meet her this past fall. So yeah, that's what happened. In the 90s, country music exploded again. I had always listened to country music with my grandmother. She took care of me a lot after school. And so she would listen to country radio. And then the 90s happened. I became a huge fan. I started singing country music, out in public.
Like just walking down the street or like in bars?
No, like in bars, like my dad. So I ended up doing these karaoke contests and then I formed a cover band. I couldn't get into certain clubs and bars because of my age. And so my dad learned how to do live sound so that he could be my chaperone, watch out for me.
I was actually going to ask you about that. I think it's really cool. Your dad really learned some live audio engineering so he could chaperone you. That's the coolest thing ever.
I mean, when I say my parents were supportive, like that's what I mean. And then he
lying.
ended up using it as like a side hustle and he would do like sound just locally then.
So when he meets Winona, he's going to be like, look, I'm famous because of you.
Right.
So you're singing in these local bars and whatnot, and you're getting some traction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it was going over well, or you wouldn't have done it a second time.
Yeah, yes, I was playing any festival, karaoke. I mean, bar. I mean, we were booking bar gigs. I was anywhere I could play, I would play. You know, local rodeos.
Now, did you play an instrument at this time?
Yeah, I started learning guitar. I think I was around 12 when I started learning guitar. I took piano since I was 6.
Flute in high school, right?
In middle school, yes. Wow.
Middle school.
Where did you find that?
Okay. All right. Magic.
It is magic.
Just a real quick question, since you're in the music capital of the world.
Mm-hmm.
This is a story for everybody who doesn't live in America. In America, when you're growing up and going through the public school system, as a youngster in music class, you learn how to play the recorder. Does anybody play the recorder professionally? Like, is there an actual person who gets paid to play the recorder? Like, I've never seen any band have a recorder. Not even an orchestra has a recorder in it.
I've never seen that either, but you've hit a sore spot because in my elementary school, we were the first class where they stopped teaching it.
Really?
So I missed learning the recorder by a year.
Oh, shit. That means I'm old. Okay, scratch everything, folks. I'm just as young as everybody. What's a recorder?
I know, but that was like the traditional thing you learned.
They really stopped it the year like before
Mm-hmm.
you? Oh, that is insane.
I know.
So
I missed out
How
on the
did you find
recorder.
that out? If it just wasn't there when you got there, how did you know about it?
Well, because I saw kids ahead of me in elementary school would be holding them, carrying them around, or, you know, I kind of just knew about it, I guess, through music class. And then when I got to be the grade where they started teaching you, it was like not there. I was really looking forward to that. And my dreams were crushed.
So you never got the chance to play the recorder?
I never got the chance.
That is insane. Oh, that breaks my heart.
I know.
You could have been
I
somebody.
was deprived. I know.
You could have been the first professional
Recorder player.
recorder player. You should bring it back. You should sneak it onto all your next albums,
sure.
all your next songs.
For sure.
That is hilarious.
Hey, Streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors. Let's get back into it.
So you started playing guitar and you're doing these shows at all these local places, and your dad is with you. I just think that is the coolest thing. So at what point did you decide that you wanted to go to Belmont University? Why Belmont, and why music?
So I was about 14. While I was playing festivals and gigs and all that kind of stuff, I had caught the attention of a talent agent in South Carolina. She introduced my parents to someone in Nashville who knew someone that worked at what was then called Sony ATV Tree. It's now Sony Publishing. For clarity's sake, my mom and dad were introduced to a guy named Pat McMakin who worked at Sony. And at that time, Leanne Rimes had just had her hit with Blue, and she was brand new on the scene. And as Nashville and the music industry tends to do, when something pops off, then everyone they want to follow the trend. And so everyone in Nashville was looking for a teenager for their roster. You know, I kind of fit the bill. So when I was 14, my parents drove me to Nashville to meet Pat. And then Pat came to South Carolina and saw me play with my band, and they brought me back to Nashville.
Which band was it? Was it Farewell Angelina?
No.
Angels? Well, who was
So
it?
Farewell Angelina was more recent history, just before COVID.
Okay.
This was a band that I in high school called Farther South. So he came and saw me play with my local band, and then invited me back to Nashville to meet the woman running Sony Publishing at the time. Donna Hilly. And they ended up signing me to a production and writing deal. So I had been in Nashville quite a bit in my teen years working with Sony and had signed my first deal at that point. And so I knew of Belmont just from being in Nashville. And
Gotcha.
kind of right then and there, it was like, okay, well, this is my goal. Like, this is clearly where I want to go to school because it's literally at the top of Music Row.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, she did just kind of gloss over the fact that she signed a record deal as a teenager, but the part that she didn't mention was that at the time that she signed that deal, she had never written a song.
Yeah. Which I don't know that that's something to celebrate. I think, like, now that I'm an adult looking back, it's a little cringy because as a hardworking songwriter now, it is a little obnoxious for somebody to just kind of breeze into Nashville who's never written and get a publishing deal, because those are really hard to come by. It just happened to be the right combo of like what they were looking for, age, my gender. You know, it just happened to be right because the Leanne Rhymes thing had happened.
Sure. Did you make a fortune as a songwriter when you were a teenager? Just loaded,
Totally
right?
loaded.
So
No.
see, it's not that cringe, because the part that makes you feel cringe about it, if I could be so bold as to tell you how you feel,
Go for it.
is that at the time that you're a teenager and you get signed to this record deal, you didn't have any life experience. So how could you have written a song? Like, what are you writing
That's right.
about?
That's right.
I mean, Taylor's right about making out under the bleachers or whatever she was doing in high school, but you were too busy going to bars,
Right.
and your dad was there, so you couldn't be making out with anybody.
Right.
So what experience could you have possibly written about? So I understand why you would look back at it weird, but I think it's cool as shit.
Well, thank you. I mean, I'm really grateful for it because, I mean, basically it was just trial by fire. Like, I just was thrown in rooms with adults who were pro writers, and I learned how to write songs just by being in the rooms with them. And I am so grateful to those writers because I'm sure I was miserable to sit in a room with for 3.5 hours because I was nervous. I didn't have much to say. I didn't know how to write a song. I didn't have a lot of life experience to draw from. So, I mean, I was really watching them write songs. But through that experience, I learned a lot about songwriting and eventually understood how to craft a song. And then I became that songwriter, either writing for myself or then I was thrown into rooms with young artists who didn't say a word and were nervous, you know? So the tables definitely turned.
How long were you with them as a songwriter? Like, how long were you in rooms writing for Sony?
I can't remember what my term was. Maybe 3 years, 3 or 4 years.
Okay. And this was in the 2000s?
96-ish, maybe.
Okay. So the end of the 90s.
I think it was at least 3 years because I started going to Belmont. My freshman year was the fall of 99.
Okay. I didn't know that was a thing that, like, and I'm sure it's different, but in my head, I'm picturing just like sort of a room full of cubicles where everybody's sitting down writing songs.
It's not cubicles, but it is like office rooms that have like cushy chairs, and they try to make them look, you know, inviting and cool and vibey. But I mean, it's a building of writing rooms.
In, I think, maybe the first or second year that I was doing this, I interviewed a young lady who she had done that before with Sony. Her name was Bree Bagwell.
Okay.
And she did it for Sony for a bunch of years. And then I guess she got super disillusioned with the process and how not creative it felt to do that. She made it sound like she was in a cubicle banging out, you know, she's got a deadline and she's got things or whatever. She stepped away from that. And then she came to Texas. And I don't know how many times it kept going, but at the time that I talked to her, she was, I think, 6 time in a row female Texas country singer of the year or something like that. So, I mean, good for her. She left, and good for you because you're not doing that stuff anymore either. Yeah. You can sit in your own room and write.
That's right. You know, there really is a benefit to having the experience of that kind of schedule. And it is true. I've had other publishing deals since then, and where I really focused more as a staff writer instead of being the artist. And it is, I mean, you're banging out sometimes 2, even sometimes 3 songs a day, or
oh, wow,
maybe writing 1 and then finishing a second, or writing 2 and finishing a third. It's not sustainable long term, at least for me. It wasn't, but I am grateful for that experience. And it does teach you how to be prolific. And it really is a muscle. It's like the more you use it, the more ideas you have, and the more, I don't know, I'm grateful for that time. And also it's not sustainable for me.
Sure. But you probably learned a ton while you were there, right?
No doubt. No doubt. I mean, truly, I'm so grateful. I was sitting in rooms with the best of the best. learning how to write songs by just soaking up their energy and watching them and learning how to manage a room and talk to an artist and talk to each other and negotiate which idea is good and which idea is bad and what's going in the song and what isn't going in, like the whole craft, I got a front row seat. It was very cool.
Okay, so you go to Belmont. I'm assuming you graduated?
I did, yes.
You got a degree in everything.
I got a degree in everything. My mom is so proud.
What is your degree in?
I got a Bachelor of Music. I was a commercial vocal major with a music business emphasis, which is just shy of a minor.
Check you out. Why didn't you go make it a minor? What, are you lazy?
Yeah, they didn't make, that was kind of the standard.
You did all you could do.
Yeah, that's what they offer. I'm sure you could get a minor, but no, I did not want to do that. I just wanted to do enough to get the degree.
That makes sense. Let's go back to writing. I heard you say once that being able to write with other people, like being able to co-write, is very, very important for a songwriter. It's a skill that is an important skill to have. Can you explain to me why that is important? Why is it so important to be able to co-write a song?
On a creative level, it's important to co-write a song because you have 2, sometimes 3 brains in the room. So there are things that you are not going to think of that your co-writer will. And that can be the magic. That could be the magic that changes everything and makes the song solidify and just hit all the emotional notes. It's also just a lot of fun if you're in the room with people you like and it's gelling and flowing. It's just a ton of fun. On a more practical and even business level, it's important to co-write because it's more efficient, because you have more brains in the room. You're not the only one doing the heavy lifting. So it's more efficient. You can write more songs and get more done typically. And then you also have that power of having now 2 or 3 people, depending on how many writers are in the room, who now can try to exploit that song. If it's not for somebody in the room to record, let's go pitch it. And now you have 3 people pitching. And if they're with publishers, then you have 6 people pitching because you have the 3 writers and then they each have a publisher. And now you've got 6 people working that song to try to get it cut. Or if you're the artist and you're going to cut it, you have a little bit of an engine behind you to help support that song if it's released. And it's just more of a practicality in that way.
That makes sense. You also teach songwriting at Belmont. Is that correct?
I do.
You still do
yeah.
that? You do?
I do, yeah. It's a part-time, I'm an adjunct.
How did that come about? I know we talked about how, being in a room, banging out songs all day, every day was not really for you, right? It was unsustainable. And then you decided to go sit in a room and show other people how to write songs. What made you go back to sitting in a room writing songs with other people or showing people?
Just because you have the skill to write doesn't mean you have to bang out 2 or 3 songs a day. So, there are a lot of different ways to organize your workflow. I'm still writing several times a week, but I'm not doing five days a week, 2 writes a day, but I'm still writing. I still write very consistently. That being said, it was kind of as we were coming out of COVID, it really was still in the tail end of COVID. Someone here in Nashville encouraged me they said, I think you'd be really good for this role at Belmont. I had just had a child, within the first few days of lockdown. I had kind of gotten over everyone kind of survived 2020 who was going to survive, I suppose. I think this was around 2021. I don't even remember now, but it was kind of still in COVID time. In every industry, not just the music business, it's where's this going to go from here? How are we going to do our jobs? What is life going to be like? How's the world going to change? All the things. First of all, I didn't even know this was a possibility to teach songwriting. I don't know. I had not really kept up. Yeah, I just hadn't really kept up with what the departments were doing, and the songwriting department didn't exist when I was a student there. It was only created since then. And I don't know, I just wasn't aware of it, I suppose. And I was like, well, that's interesting. And I do have, I think, skill, and I feel like I have something to share in this area. And it would be cool to contribute again to my alma mater. I really loved my time at Belmont. And it's a way of having a little bit of a kind of side hustle-y income thing going on, because I don't know what's going to happen from here,
Right.
I had come off the road about a year before COVID because I had decided I wanted to start a family. But before that, I was on the road 150 dates a year probably with the band Farewell Angelina. And so I'm like, well, okay, now I have a child and I don't want to be away from home that much anymore.
So you came off the road because you wanted to start a family. Feel free to tell me it's none of my business, but were you pregnant and then you came off the road, or you came off the road and then got pregnant?
I came off the road and got pregnant, and it did not happen instantly.
Were you seeing somebody, or were you just like, hey, fellas,
yeah,
I want a baby?
Definitely the second one. No, I'm kidding. I was married and still am, to be clear. But yes, I was already married at the time. But I was gone. I mean, I was just gone, I was gone all the time.
That's a lot of dates. Yeah.
I just felt this pull of like, I think I need to slow down if I want to make this happen. And I was nearing the late part of my 30s. And it's like, I mean, it's, again, practicality at this point. It's like the window is closing rapidly. So, let me focus on this. And then in a divine twist way, which I really believe in, my mom ended up getting sick. Like not long after I got off the road. And she ended up getting treated at MD Anderson in Houston, towards your neck of the woods, kind of.
MD Anderson saved my life.
Really?
Actually, they saved my mom's life when she was a teenager. So I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for MD Anderson.
Wow.
And my sister, yeah.
Well, my mom had a great experience. I mean, obviously in a really unfortunate circumstance, but we are really appreciative to MD Anderson as well. And so at the time, my husband was working for a company that was headquartered in Houston. And so he was flying back and forth every 2 weeks. And he had a companion pass. He was flying so much on Southwest.
So you got off the road and then he got on the road?
He had already been on the road. He was kind of on the road already as, for his job. Gotcha. But I was able to use his companion pass and fly to see my parents every 2 weeks because they ended up having to relocate to Houston for 6 months. It was a really aggressive form of cancer. And so I look back and go, oh my gosh, like I didn't know why I was getting off the road exactly. I mean, I had this nebulous vision of like, I think I just need to slow down if I want to start a family. And then my mom got sick and it allowed me this time to be with them. I mean, I could not have done that if I was still road dogging it. And then I did get pregnant and then miscarried. And then several months later, we tried again or kept trying and eventually got pregnant and then had our child like the first day of lockdowns.
Wow.
That was kind of a wild two years or so right there.
I'm sure.
Hey, Streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors.
Beneath a dead world, humanity's last survivors live in Subterra.
I care about one thing, keeping Subterra's power uninterrupted. If Subterra goes dark, we are doomed.
A buried city of chipped citizens, forgotten miners, and those who have never seen the sun.
You took a big risk coming here.
I didn't have a choice.
Go back home, girl. You'll get killed down here, or worse.
But in the lower levels, the unchipped have become invisible, and invisibility breeds rebellion.
We want justice for our dead!
You will learn to obey.
When a rigged trial ignites the darkness, a blind orphan, a bunker princess, and a rebuilt combat robot are thrown into a fight that could change everything.
Fellow citizens of Subterra, you are here to witness the adjudication of an unchipped bunker orphan known as Ace.
You want me to lie?
I want you to help me clear your name.
By blaming Ace for something he didn't do? He's innocent, and you're gonna kill him.
What I have set in motion will change this place forever. There will be a new order in Subterra, and it will not be kind to people like you.
No. I'm staying here.
Stay here, then. Stay and die.
Because underground, hope doesn't disappear. It survives.
Let the battle begin!
Advance!
Defend your home! Defend your brothers and sisters!
Subterra.
Available now. Download wherever you find podcasts.
Let's get back into it.
Before we talk about what it's like to be a working mom of a toddler, let's talk about some of the other things. You have played everything from, small rooms to honky tonks with two people to stadiums. What are some of the differences between opening a stadium tour for acts like Blake Shelton or Rascal Flatts and a smaller 800 to 1,200 seat venue opening for people like the Bacon Brothers? Like what is the difference in kind of that experience of those different sizes of venues?
The biggest difference to me is I enjoy the smaller venues more. That to me is like the key difference that matters to me, at least. Whether I'm opening for the Bacon Brothers, which that has been such a joy for me. I've had the chance to open for them several summer runs.
So like not just one show, but like a whole leg of a tour or something?
Yeah. When I was in the band Farewell Angelina, we started opening for them, I think 1 or 2 summers. We did a string of dates. And then after I got off the road and had my child, Michael Bacon called me and was like, hey, we're playing Green Hall in New Braunfels.
I was going to say, they play there all the time. The next time you're with them, let me know. I'm coming.
Well, I will. I did that. I did like a one-off, and then I ended up jumping on another string of dates with them at least once, or if not twice, as a solo artist. After I got off the road and was focusing on family, I did not want to stop making music. I just needed to like reorganize my life a little. So I released music in 2019 and was working on new music. And so I still had things to promote as a solo artist. So I jumped on tour with them as a solo artist then as well.
Gotcha.
So anyway, whether it's when I play the Bluebird as a songwriter in a songwriter round here in Nashville, if it's my own theater show, if it's opening for the Bacon Brothers, whatever it is, there is just something about playing small theaters, listening rooms, house concerts. I love house concerts. There's just the intimacy and the connection. I really love storyteller shows. That's not really what you go to a stadium for. You know, when you go to a stadium, you're going for the lights and the energy and the different type of crowd reaction. You're going for
the
electricity.
$40 beers.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's fine. And I have enjoyed that as a fan going to those types of shows for sure. I enjoy that. But as a performer, nothing beats that intimate connection feeling to me. Like that is true dopamine reward zinger for me. Like I love it. I love being able to actually like sometimes talk to the audience members between songs or, you know, like even on mic, you know, or something like that. I love the connection of a smaller intimate venue.
It has to feel better with the smaller venue too, because, you know, as a concert goer, you know, you walk into a stadium, I don't know, let's just say there's 20,000 people. Well, probably 19,500 of them or more came to see the headliner.
That's right.
So they're not even paying attention to you. They're not even there sometimes when you're playing. Like everybody's coming in and sitting down and talking, and there's this whole stadium. I mean, that's got to feel weird when there's 20,000 people that are not paying attention to you versus, you know, 800 to 1,200 that are sitting there just 100% focused on you, just like facing their hands, just staring up at you, like gobbling up everything that you're doing. That just has to feel different.
It does for sure. When you are standing on a stadium stage, I mean, the audience is just so far away. Like the stadium seating starts later in the room, like farther back. I mean, it's like I can't get to you. How do I get to you? You know, is kind of what I feel like.
The closest audience member is probably the same distance as the furthest audience member in a smaller room. Right?
Sometimes that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Again, grateful for those experiences, and also just learned that I love a listening room.
Me too. Well, speaking of which, why is the Bluebird Cafe so iconic and important to the city? And why is it so special when you play there?
Oh, man. So after Sony signed me for publishing, they pitched me to RCA and I was signed to a development deal. One of the gentlemen that was on the A&R staff at the time is also a hit songwriter, Tom Schuyler. He was one of the core group members that started the songwriter round at the Bluebird. I mean, he was a part of that 3 or 4 writers that just decided, hey, can we do this, Amy? Can we come in and, you know, let's just sit in a room and around a circle and swap songs, you know? And of course, the Bluebird at the time, this was the 80s, I believe. It was a lot different than it is now because of the Nashville ABC show years ago. It's mostly tourists are in there, you know, but it used to be a local spot. I mean, it was just a place you could go. Even when I started living in Nashville, you could go in and see new acts that you'd never heard of and hear great songs and see your heroes. It's a great place to workshop material. People will go in and want to play new songs there, you know, that you hadn't heard before. Obviously play their hits, tell the stories behind them. It's just a peek behind the curtain and this really intimate behind the scenes kind of feel. And I think it just grew into this culture that people loved because you don't get that anywhere else, or at least you didn't at the time. You know, you went to a stadium, you went to an arena, you went to a theater, whatever you did, and you saw a nice curated show that everyone had pre-planned and there was a set list and all the, you know. But the Bluebird is like, yeah, I'm going to play you a hit or two because that's why you're probably here. But also, can I play you this new thing I just wrote yesterday, you know? And then hear the stories behind it. And you're hearing it from people who wrote the songs, not necessarily the people who made them famous, because those are not always the same thing.
Right. Almost never.
Yeah. Well, today it seems like every artist is at least listed as a writer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that wasn't the case in the 90s.
Sure. This is the perfect time for me to ask you about one of my favorite songs of yours. This is from a few years ago, but tell me the story behind finding the sound and the style for your song, Follow the Leader.
Oh, cool. I was curious which one you were going to say.
I love that song so much, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that because that song means a lot to me. As I had graduated Belmont, I was signed to Warner Brothers Records. I made a full record for them in the can. They fast-tracked me at first, put me on radio tour. That's where I got some of those stadium experiences with Rascal Flatts and Blake Shelton and some others. And then the regime changed at the top, and the guy that signed me was no longer the top dog, and a new guy came in, and long story short, I was shelved. And went in and cut some new music, but it really didn't move the needle for the internal, regime. And so eventually I ended up leaving the label. Once I had left the label, it was important to me to show myself and show Nashville and Music Row, like, hey, I'm not an artist because I have a record deal. I'm an artist because that's what I do and it's what I love. And so I made an EP called If I Was Your Girl and released that and toured it a little bit. And then a few years after that, I still had some like residual bitterness, I guess, over the Warner Brothers deal.
I would imagine.
And American Idol was popping up and it was really popular. I don't feel this way anymore. But at the time, I was like, that's not the real way you should get signed or become a famous musician, through a talent contest. Like, what about all the people who've moved here and sat in writing rooms and learned the craft and have been grinding it out, And I just had this very like purist mentality about it and had like this big chip on my shoulder, frankly. I was kind of like bitter about these talent contests, making stars and whatever. I see it a little differently now, but also the Kardashians were just becoming a thing. And it's like, oh my gosh, now we're getting famous for nothing. Like it's like, what is happening? I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. And so Follow the Leader is a song that came out of that frustration and was like, okay, so I guess we're just gonna like let these puppet masters do their thing and let these people who are just getting famous for the size of their booties or for who they're marrying or whatever sex tape came out. And if they won a talent contest, like we were just getting famous for nothing anymore, And what about the hard work it takes and the craft and the skill and all that stuff? So it was really based out of that frustration. And it was the brainchild for that next EP, which is called On With the Show, which is a lyric in that song. And then How to Fly, which is the track that bookends that EP, is also kind of about that. It's really talking more about the industry has not clipped my wings. I'm gonna continue to do what I do. Follow the Leader was the brainchild for that project.
Musically or sonically or whatever, Follow the Leader is almost like a children's nursery rhyme.
Yeah.
How did you decide, or what made you decide to go that route with it? Because lyrically, it's not the same style. Like the lyrics could be on any style of music, but why did you decide to choose sort of almost a nursery rhyme style?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure it does. So I actually learned something really important writing that song. I had the idea for Follow the Leader for a while before I wrote it. I had actually given the idea to two other co-writers at different times, and they both were like, I don't really get I don't get it. Like, I don't think that's the song we should write, Let's look for a new idea. So finally I took the idea to Chuck Jones, who is my co-writer on the song, and he got it. And I learned through that experience putting a nursery rhyme, super simple, repetitive chord structure and rhythmic pattern with that kind of sarcastic lyric. It's like, oh, that's how you can relate sarcasm in a song, or that's how you can relate irony in a song. Now it's like this tool that I kind of know how to use to craft songs if I want to kind of use that.
For sure.
That's why I think it's actually that nursery rhyme feel is what lends itself to the sarcasm of the song.
Got you. That explains a lot.
Or satire, maybe is the.
Yeah, I think satire. Yeah, that makes more sense. Well, I don't know if you're up for it, but can I play Follow the Leader in this episode so everybody knows what the hell we're talking about?
Oh, I would love that. Yeah, for sure.
Will you do me a favor? It's my favorite thing. Will you introduce it like you're a radio DJ?
I will give it my best shot. This is Lauren Lucas, and you're listening to the Fascination Street podcast. And here's my song, Follow the Leader.
Welcome to the world of make-believe. Lap it up in the lap of luxury. The pills will cost you, but the Kool-Aid's free. Follow the leader, follow the leader. We'll tell you how to be and dress and feed. We'll tell you what to think, no matter if it's real. Now don't you worry who's behind the wheel. Just follow the leader, follow the leader. Follow the leader, follow the leader. And never mind, the emperor has got no clothes. The curtains up, the wizard's out, and still it's on with the show. Oh, oh, oh. Down the tubes and down the drain, wherever he goes. Follow the leader, follow the leader. Just follow the leader, follow the leader. Anybody here can be a star. We can make you better than you really are. All you need's a little bad PR. And follow the leader, follow the leader. Now step into the party right on cue. You be the puppet and we'll pull some strings for you. Anything that Simon says we'll do. So follow the leader, follow the leader. Yeah, follow the leader, follow the leader. And never mind, the emperor has got no clothes. The curtains up, the wizard's out, and still it's on with the show. Oh, oh, oh. Down the tubes and down the drain, wherever he goes. Follow the leader, follow the leader. Just follow the leader, follow the leader. Little lemmings off the cliff, we all go down with the ship. Might as well take one more sip. And never mind, the emperor has got no clothes. The curtains up, the wizard's out, and still it's on with the show. Whoa, oh, oh. Down the tubes and down the drain, wherever he goes. Off the plank, straight to the bank, wherever he goes. Just follow the leader, follow the leader. Yeah, follow the leader, follow the leader. Welcome to the world of make-believe. Lap it up in the lap of luxury. The pills will cost you, but the Kool-Aid's free.
I love that song so much. Thank you.
Oh, sweet. Okay, great.
Going back to your story that you were telling me about kind of the time period leading up to Follow the Leader, you had a record deal and you made a record for a huge company, and then they put it on a shelf and said, hey, thanks, beat it. That album never came out. Previous guest of the show, and apparently your friend, Liz Longley, she did a thing, which is what attracted me to reach out to her in the first place, is I heard about this thing that she did. She had a similar situation. Well, she had exactly the same situation.
Yeah, she really did. Mm-hmm.
And then what she did, as you well know, and listeners may know, is she raised money through crowdfunding to purchase that album back from the record company.
Mm-hmm.
How come you didn't do that? Was that not an option? I know it's not usually an option. Even Liz was like, it's crazy that they even offered me that because nobody does that. So she was grateful for that. But was that even an option for you?
Steve, I'll be honest with you. Now that so many years have gone by, I don't remember. I do know that there were a certain amount of years I could not have bought it back, and I could not even re-record some of those songs. But when I left the label, there was one song which they had released as a single, and then it's kind of fair game because first use had already happened. And it was called The Carolina Kind. It is called The Carolina Kind. It's still out there. They had released that as a single. The vision for my record at Warner that was, like you said, completely done and recorded and ready to go, that was going to be the title track. The album was going to be called Lauren Lucas, The Carolina Kind. Because we talked in the very beginning, that's where I'm from. I still consider myself a Carolina girl. And I loved that song. It meant a lot to me. I felt like it kind of defined a little bit of my story. And I wanted to re-record that song and own the master. And so that is what I did.
Lauren's version.
My version. That's right. I know I should add those parentheses now. And so that's what I did. I re-recorded that particular song so that I could own that master. And that is on my first EP, If I Was Your Girl. It's a track on that song.
Got you.
I will say now so many years have gone by and my sound is so different. And even though I really still adore some of the songs that are on that album, I don't know that the album in totality fits who I even am as an artist. I sing a lot differently now. Like I haven't listened to it in years, but I remember listening back thinking like, oh my gosh, I was singing really hard and like this covered sound. Like I just sound different. I sing differently.
Well, everybody grows up in any career. Like you're a lot different now than you were back then in any career. So that makes sense.
That's right. Yeah, for sure.
Do you have a copy of that album that you have that's your, like, do you have a copy? I know nobody else does, but do you?
So some people do have a copy, and I'll tell you about that in a second, or they have an incomplete copy. And then I do have a copy, yes.
Oh, good for you.
And what I've done...
Careful.
I know. I know. But I will let people hear it if they ask for it. And I can't sell it, of course, because I don't own it. But even if you were to go to my website, laurenlucas.com, and sign up for tracks from my hidden album, that hidden album is the Warner Brothers project. And I send a few select tracks, my favorite tracks from it, on a little playlist. You can't download them, you can't own them, but you can listen.
Do I need to cut that out? Are you okay with all of that?
I am. I've talked to an attorney and I'm going to ask forgiveness if that's a problem.
I hear you. All right. I just wanted to make sure you're okay with that being out there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not selling it and I'm not letting anyone own tracks or keep tracks.
Sure.
It's not the whole album, but if you'd like a sample, you can hear some things. And then I do a video series. I play them all acoustically and tell the story behind those songs as well.
Oh, that's really cool.
Hey, Streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors.
Hey, Streetwalkers. Now there's an official Fascination Street podcast Patreon. The episodes are just as deep, but a whole lot more fascinating. On the Fascination Street Patreon, we're keeping it simple. There is only one tier. No confusion, no levels, no upsells, just one way in. For $5 a month, you'll get every episode ad-free. No interruptions, no distractions, which gives you a more direct connection to the show. And also, there's a place to hang out with fellow streetwalkers and be part of the community on Patreon. If you love the stories, the conversations, and the vibe of Fascination Street Podcast, this is the best way to support it and get even more out of it. No tiers, no ads, just $5 and you're in. Welcome to the inner circle. $5, no ads, that's it. Patreon.com/Fascination Street Podcast.
Let's get back into it.
There's a TV show. It is on Netflix. My wife and I gobbled up the whole first season like we were never going to eat again.
That's awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, this show is on Netflix. It is a comedy show. It is called Leanne. Now, Lauren Lucas is part of the creative team that puts all of the music stings and all of the interstitials and even the theme song. If you actually click on the watch credits button, you can listen to a whole song.
That's right. That's right.
How did you become part of the team that is doing that? I know you did it for season 1. Are you doing it for season 2?
Yeah, we're doing it right now, season 2. And I have to tell you, they do not pay me to say this. I'm saying this on my own accord. So we compose to picture. So we're getting the episodes before anyone else does.
All right. So you're watching the whole thing, and then they're saying, hey, at this time signature, we need some music. And at that
That's
time,
right.
Okay.
Yep.
Time code, not signature. Okay.
That's right. Yeah. And so we're looking at body language and emotional cues to know, like, what should we put here, you know? And so we're in the middle of it right now. And I am telling you the truth. The writing is even better second season. We are dying laughing in the room while we're composing. I thought season 1 was great. Truly, season 2 is better, in my opinion. To be fair, I've only seen like 3 episodes. We're still at the beginning of composing it.
Sure.
But at any rate, the episodes that we have already done for season 2, we are dying laughing. Like, the writing has gotten even better. I think the characters are even more solidified, you know? Truly, it's a blast.
How tempting is it to go,
yeah. Okay, so what's funny is sometimes we do create cues like that, even though that's definitely not what they want. We create alternate versions of everything we do as well, so that they have a nice library to choose from.
Sure.
And if they don't like something we do, we can at least offer another thing quickly. But every now and again, there is a scene where, again, a little satire, a little irony, a little like, we're not supposed to be on the nose, but in this particular place, it might be funny if we were, you know? So every now and again, we will create a cue that sounds a little bit like that. But to answer your original question about it, I had the great pleasure in 2003, I believe, to meet one of my heroes, one of my musical heroes, Keb Mo. I have been a fan of his albums since I was in college. I was introduced to his music when I was at Belmont. I sang a Keb Mo song for my senior recital at Belmont. I have just been a fan of his songwriting, the sound of his records, his music for a long, long time. I was hired to be his duet partner for a marketing campaign, and we just hit it off. Then I kind of forced him to be my mentor, basically. I just kept inviting him to coffee and talking to him about his records. And I wanted to learn. I wanted to know, like, how do you get these sounds? And how did you write that song? And those conversations turned into we'd talk about family and spirituality, and we became friends, you know? Eventually, he asked me to come to the studio when he was recording his latest Tajma record, the duo record he did with Taj Mahal, just to hang out. And during that process, he invited me to sing background vocals on a couple songs. And eventually he asked if I wanted to write something for his next record, which I've done. Again, just kept collaborating, kept, just deepening our friendship. And then Chuck Lorre called him about this Leanne project. And he's like, hey, I'm on the road a ton and I need some help, I'd love to take this opportunity, but if I can't be at every session, could you help me, and be kind of the person that communicates with the production company and get some of this music together. And so I'm a part of a team, Brandon Miller, Dan Schimmel, David Rogers, Keb Mo, and me. Keb has his own production company called Yola Bell. And so that's what you'll see credited at the beginning or end. I don't know where it is. So we are Yola Bell. We're the ones working with him to produce this music for the show.
I love it. I can't wait to hear more of that in season 2.
Oh, thanks.
Is it your voice that at the beginning that says Leanne? Is that you?
That's me.
Is it you or is it just you?
It is me, and me. So yes, I'm done.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, it sounds mixed as hell. So it's you, and you?
Yeah, it's me, myself, and I.
Oh, all 3 of you. Oh, cool.
All 3 of me, yeah.
Now, Lauren, I know that you have been releasing new singles for all of 2026 so far. And I know that you have one coming out right now. I was wondering if I could play that song during this episode.
That'd be great.
Okay, cool.
I was hiding in the shadows, carried anywhere the wind blowed, let everybody else define me. Didn't think that I could find me anymore. Wasn't lightning in a bottle, something shifted soft and subtle. Didn't need to keep on running when I saw the sun coming up. Your I can see you working for me. Now I know what I am worthy of.
Why are we in a singles world?
Me personally?
Well, it's not just you. That seems to be the trend, and help me figure out how come.
Okay, probably the biggest answer is consumer habits have changed by and large. I'm not talking about like the diehard music fans.
Is it because we don't buy albums and CDs anymore? We don't buy the whole thing. We just download whatever song we want to hear, our favorite one?
That's right. And what tends to happen is musicians will spend money on an entire EP or making an entire album, then we'll single some songs. And when we look back at the analytics, it's like, oh, only those songs were really listened to. and that was a lot of money that we just put into 8 other tracks. Now, I think there is still a reason for an album, especially if there is a through line or a theme or thread, in a whole collection. So much about our business infrastructure, or industry infrastructure, I should say, is just gone away from that. Now, I'm not a part of the major label world anymore, so I can kind of do whatever I want. But on the major label world, I mean, it really is like, let's put it on TikTok and see if it goes viral. And if not, then we're not going to even put it out. We're going to go to another song. So it's so much sticking spaghetti on the wall. Financially, it doesn't make sense for at least a young artist to spend money making a whole album anymore, because they're not going to promote it that way.
Right.
And then listeners have kind of shown us that they're not really going to listen to a whole album unless they are a diehard fan of that artist. People's consumer habits are just TikTok style small bites, I
have vinyls and I have CDs and all that shit, but gonna have to admit that probably the last 20 or 30 records or CDs or whatever that I bought was at the merch table at a concert.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the last album that I went to a store. I don't even know what store I would go to buy an album these days.
I know. Yep.
Like you said, like people don't really buy albums unless they're a massive fan, in which case they're going to buy it at the show.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, even just financially, it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to make a full album right now.
Sure. You did, I'm going to call it a limited release. You did a limited series podcast called the Happiest Hour Podcast. And it is still available everywhere that you listen to podcasts, folks. Tell me why you started it and then also why it is on hiatus. I'm going to call it hiatus.
Sure. Okay, that's great. Looking back, I think I started it. I mean, first of all, it sounded fun to me. I love podcasts. I'm a huge podcast junkie. It sounded fun. And I just had this spark of creativity of like, oh my gosh, I just think this would be really interesting for people to hear from some of my friends who are creatives. And I kind of centered it around musicians, actors, and then some health and fitness coaches, because that's something I'm interested in, just a hobby, my personal wellness. I just came up with this idea that like, I love happy hour. A good happy hour is so fun. And then when there's really great conversation, it's like even more than just happy. It's like the happiest hour, that connection piece. And so I named it Happiest Hour. And I think at the time I was really just looking for ways to stay creative and maybe in some ways to stay busy coming out of COVID, because that's really when it launched. And I enjoyed creating the idea. I was the booker, the producer, the editor, and you may be as well, Steve, so you may totally understand this. But I didn't realize I was taking on an entire new job.
It's a whole job, folks. It is insane.
It is. And I already have a job. My job is, making music.
You have 2 jobs. You're a mom.
That's right. And I had a newborn at the time, so I don't know why I thought I needed to be busier. But at any rate, yes, I already have jobs. Accidentally put too much on my plate. And so that is why it's on hiatus. Although I do have a friend who is a fabulous songwriter, and I have another episode that is in the can, and I just got so overwhelmed with my music release schedule that it has just been hanging out on my hard drive. I owe it to her, but also it's just a good episode to put it out. And I just haven't come up with a plan on where to do that and where to offer it exactly. And do I call it a bonus episode or, I'm just kind of trying to think about what's the best way to do that. But I'm really proud of it. And yes, you can listen wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find Happiest Hour.
Yeah, it's still available everywhere. Everybody go check it out.
By the way, I interview my friend Cindy Thompson, who had not made her official comeback yet. If you're familiar with Cindy's music from, she had a big hit in early 2000s. She's now back in full force. So it's kind of fun to listen to that podcast before that had started. And then she's made this huge comeback.
Yeah.
I interview my friend Jenny Gill, who's Vince Gill's daughter, and she is a fantastic video producer and director and singer-songwriter in her own right, and she's hilarious. There's some really fun guests on it.
Are they all writers? What's the, you know what? I can tell you. You don't have to tell me. I can tell you. Check this out. Ladies and gentlemen, streetwalkers, if you will, it goes a little something like this. Welcome to the Happiest Hour, a space to find inspiration and feel authentically connected with the world around you. With a shot of humor and a dash of down-to-earth grit, Lauren interviews the most inspiring people in her life in the fields of music, film, and wellness, and creative entrepreneurship. Yeah. I hate that word so much. Throw in a delicious beverage and an easy weekend recipe, and you've got happy hour. But better, this is the happiest hour.
Thanks.
Everybody go check that out.
Thanks for
check
that.
You out. You're neat. Lauren, tell everybody where they can find you on those social medias and also laurenlucas.com or whatever.
Yes. I mean, really, that's probably the very best place is laurenlucas.com because that'll take you everywhere else. I would say I spend most of my time on Instagram these days for socials. So that's at Lauren Lucas Music. I'm at Lauren Lucas Music for all my socials.
Okay, cool. Not to be confused with the Lauren Lucas that is like the pastor of a church in Queensland, Australia.
Oh.
And not to be confused with the Lauren Lucas that is a real estate mogul somewhere in America.
There's also a physician, I believe.
Sure, why not? Yeah, Dr. Lauren Lucas.
That's right. Yes.
You do have many jobs.
I do it to myself.
Yeah, right. Lauren, is there anything that we didn't talk about or I didn't ask you about specifically that you wanted to talk about today? Did we cover the big bits?
I think so. The only thing you did touch on slightly, and I don't know that we got around back to it, which is not a problem. You had talked about the motherhood piece. And the only reason I bring this up is I had a friend recently who's a young songwriter, not like newbie, but just she's younger than me, let's say. And she is married and has had some questions about I don't know, is a family even a thing? My husband and I are both musicians and that's probably not a thing for us because we have these careers. And I told her, and I just think it's important for people to hear this in our industry and maybe others too. Becoming a mom, I waited till the window was closing myself because I wasn't sure if I could do both. But I will say becoming a mom, I have no doubt it has helped me reach some of my biggest goals in these last few years. The Leanne on Netflix, the writing for TV film, releasing more music. I'm getting back out on the road a little more this year. I'm going to have a handful of dates, some songwriter festivals and different things. So I think some of my biggest musical dreams and goals are starting to come true. And I actually credit that to becoming a mom. it was like I was already a hard worker, but becoming a mom just like cranked it to 11, for me. I think the focus and the like me wanting to show my child that I still follow my dreams and I work hard. And then also I don't have as much time as I used to work on some of this. So it's like B+ and out the door is sometimes better than perfectly A+ and never happening. You know what I mean? Like you can tinker and try to perfect for forever, and then you never even put it out there. And I just think it has helped me focus so much in my time and my energy and what's really important, and then just keep moving and get things out the door, just keep moving forward instead of perfecting. And I think for all of those reasons, I think motherhood has actually really helped me in my career. I want women and men who want families to know, at least that's my experience. It may not be everyone's, but it sure has helped me.
I love that. And also, I'm not a songwriter, but I think you just wrote a song in there, or at least a piece of one. Like B+ and out the door is better than A+ and on the show.
Yeah.
You're awesome. You should write songs.
Thank you, Steve.
Lauren, you're welcome. Those words of wisdom that you shared about, not being afraid to go ahead and tackle parenthood as well. I think that's inspiring. And I think there's probably a lot of people that do need to hear that. So thank you for sharing.
Thanks.
I appreciate that. Lauren Lucas, the bluesy, swampy Southern soul sister. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day and your hectic singing, songwriting, touring, and raising children schedule to hang out and let us get to know you a little bit better on Fascination Street. I really appreciate it.
Well, it is my pleasure. I told you at the beginning, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of your podcast. So it really is an honor for me to be on it. So thank you for having me.
You guys can't see this. I am blushing. That is so sweet. Lauren, you are amazing. And likewise, I'm a fan of yours. So there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you again for letting me play those two songs earlier. I'm really excited to be able to share those songs with everybody. And one of the things that I do with all of the music that has been played on my show is that I add them to a Spotify playlist.
Oh, great.
Now, obviously, I don't do it if they're not on Spotify because I can't and they're not mine. But if they're already on Spotify, I do add them to the list. So on that Spotify list, before I even add your stuff, there's 175 songs on that list. It's pretty dope. And they're all over the place. They're wild.
I bet.
They are wild. So I'm going to be excited to add those songs to that list. Everybody, seriously, go check out Lauren everywhere, especially LaurenLucas.com and Lauren Lucas Music everywhere else. Again, I'm so excited. Thank you. You have made my day. This is awesome.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
The next time you and Michael and Kevin are coming down to Green, Texas, holler at a Fat Kid. That's not even an hour from where I am.
Awesome. Yeah.
Also, I don't know. Are you familiar with Luckenbach? Do you know what that is?
I mean, Luckenbach, Texas.
Yeah. That's 30 minutes from my house.
Okay.
Get your butt over there and play Luckenbach.
Awesome. All right. Cool.
You can bring Kevin and Michael if you want to, but
I played with the Bacon Brothers. I played the Kessler. Where is that? Houston or Dallas? I get them confused.
Couldn't tell you. I'm in San Antonio, so it's not here. It's not around here.
I just assumed maybe you knew. It's a fantastic theater. There's the Kessler, and then whichever market that's in, there's another theater of a similar size in the other market. That would be cool if we could do like a whole run of that,
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. That'd be awesome.
Cool.
Well, Lauren, thank you again for your time. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I appreciate all of the things, and you are amazing. Go write something.
Yeah.
Go write something, or even if you're just on doing the Leanne thing and you go, that's for you, Steve. Like that.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Opening music is from the song FSP Theme, written, performed, and provided by Ambush Vin. Closing music is from the song Kosh, written, performed, and provided with the blessings of Kosh Mojo himself. If you like the show, tell a friend. Subscribe and rate and review the show wherever you listen to podcasts. All episodes are available ad-free at patreon.com/Fascination Street Podcast. And don't forget to follow the show on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok. And again, thanks for listening.